Oh,
Okay.
wait, hold on.
Nobody asked you.
Okay.
All right. Welcome everybody. Full Send Off Road Podcast. We have a guest this week, and I know I've been excited about it. I've been trying to get her on for a while on the podcast. Everybody, welcome Megan Rion, the one and only Diamond Dust.
Hey guys, it's me. I got Diamond Dust up there.
And then, of course, everybody knows the other two Yahoos, Bruce and Aaron.
I'm just here because I have to be.
Really? You like this more than I do at this point in time.
I do. I do enjoy this, and getting to have guests on makes it even better. So, um, we kind of got to talk when you came, Megan, when you came down for STX for the first event that we had down here locally for us, trying to get around and meet with everybody, with the drivers on the drag racing side and on the bounty hole side, or the bounty course side. Because a lot of people don't get to interact with you, and you're a rock star, especially with the kids. Like they see this big pink buggy, and they see the driver with the pink hair, and the kids go wild. They want pictures, and they want to say hi. They want to go stand next to the machine. And I know
I love that.
And I know a lot of drivers, even like Mike and Randy, they're really big into that too. And you having the teach them young, the bounty course for the kids, I think is spectacular. So if you could tell us a little bit about that, that would be awesome.
So I'll go back to your first, talking about like being at the races. I totally love anybody that comes up and wants to take a picture of the bike, young or old, but I definitely like the kids better. I'd be like, here, you want to get in the driver's seat? Sure. You want to drive it around? Sure. Do whatever you want.
Right.
Even after, as we were loading it up, because we loaded up after South Texas Showdown and went to Arkansas for a different race. And as we were loading up, I still have people coming and wanting to take pictures of me in the machine. So that's always, I feel it in my heart, but especially the kids. So, which comes to Teach 'em Young, we started, let's see, 21 was our first race season. So 2021 was our first one, 22, and then 23. So we've done 3 seasons of racing for the kids for Teach 'em Young. 2 seasons we've had the outlaw class. I'm sorry. This year we've had the outlaw class for our first season. We are reopening it again for our 4th season for the outlaw class, making it bigger and better. Letting the kids, as they get more advanced in their driving and more comfortable in their machines, let them have a little bit more leeway for the outlaw class. I've always been really strict about rules and certain things cannot and could be done to your machine.
Right.
We're sticking with those rules for ages 6 through 12, but for the 12 to 17 class, we're releasing the reins just a little bit, because those are the same kids that honestly, they'll compete against the adults. They'll go from Teach 'em Young, they'll do XBR, Southern Bounty Series, the Bounty Course. If I'm missing any, I'm sorry. But Mud and 185, they go everywhere and compete against the adults as well. So we've gotten them ready over the past couple of years. And these are these same kids that started our first season. So
that's awesome.
Reminiscing, it really, gets me in my feels for that. Because, I remember, let's see, Miss Brinley Wake, I think she was 11 or 12. And the same thing with like Landon Smith. And they're like 14 years old now, or 15, and competing against adults in these big series. So I'm super pumped by all these kids that we've watched grow. Cash Dixon was another one that has been there since the start, and he has kicked a lot of adults' asses this season. From Southern Bounty Series to XBR, lately, the past couple weeks, brought home some first place for sure. And like Casey Clinworth in the Bounty Course, he usually places as well. And these kids are anywhere from 11, 12 to 14 years old that are also racing against the adults.
Yeah, I think that's really awesome, especially with like the with the quads. When we went to Battle of the Builds last year at Sabine to watch a couple of the kids go out there on these huge machines
Yeah.
and run toe to toe with the adults, it is just amazing, you know. And it especially and the kids get treated really well, like the crowd cheering them on and rooting for them. And I'll be the first one to say, I think it's great that a 12, 14-year-old kid whooped up on a 40-year-old man or
It's
40-year-old woman. You know what I mean? So I think that's awesome that the 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 playing field is fairly level when it comes to these series.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and honestly, I don't care of whose team that they're on, who are they racing for, whatever. Anybody's going to root them on, no matter who they're racing for or what jersey.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I wish my daughters would have got into this when they were still riding. Kind of thrown it so fast.
Well,
I have mine in there. She's not quite in the big leagues just yet. She's still in her 570, but we're getting her some assassinators and some new MSAs pretty soon. So
yeah, that's
some PATC four-door arms and a little stretch on the back. So she's super excited about that.
Yeah, that's one thing we talked about. You know, I know Megan and I talked last night. Case and my boy's getting interested, and he's been watching some videos and stuff, and I'm like, all right, what do I do with his little 110? And we were talking last night. And by the way, the one you sent me, I'm severely interested in that one. So that's one that
so you can come hang out with us and come leave with a machine.
Right. So that's one of those things that I'm like, all right, that might be the perfect machine for him. But at the same time, when I showed him, he was like, I don't know, that's pretty big. So
it's hard to get used to him for sure. But like, if he definitely wants to compete or whatever, the little 110 is just not going to cut it.
absolutely.
The fact that it has 2-wheel drive, they bog down and they just don't go anywhere. Or you can't really snorkel them, is the other thing.
Right.
Just bought that thing for him.
Yeah, I know, but
not even like 6 months old, is it?
A little over 6 months.
Is it? You gonna throw
roughly. That's
so
all
we
right.
totally went with like the 50 Outlaw, Polaris 50 Outlaw, when Lily was 3.5 to 4. And she drove that until she was 6. And then from there, we skipped the whole 110, 200 cc age gap machine. And went to the 325 Ace. And then Liam, Derek's son, went to the 450 Kodiak. And it took him a full year. He had already grown out of that machine. So there comes the 570. He got his 570 first. And then we sold Lily's after she did the 22 season. And then she's been racing the 570 all this year.
That's good. That's good. I'm really glad to see that it's the Teach 'em Young's really taken a hold, and so many people are involved with it. The first time I seen it, I was like, that's awesome. That's cool that somebody's doing something for the kids. Because you go to these big events, there's nothing for the kids. There isn't.
Yeah.
So to see somebody actually taking the reins and running with it and doing something like that is awesome. Absolutely spectacular.
I wouldn't even take my kids to.
Well, that's true.
For sure. And then next time they're going to be like, Dad, I want one.
Yeah. We all know how that is.
Yes. But I got this problem when my girl said, Daddy, I have a very hard time saying no. It gets me every time because they put them little puppy dog eyes on, and then that's it. I'm done. I'm like, all right, fine.
Please.
My youngest she's horrible. She knows. But Dad, and that's it. It's done. Everybody knows she's got.
She was also mad at you when you sold hers.
You know what? She's starting her own life and she's getting her own place. She ain't got time for Dad no more. That's not. I'm not the cool guy.
So I'm sure you hear this all the time, but how'd you get into bounty racing?
Okay, so that's a question I do get asked a lot, especially with the show, which I guess we could talk about later. that's a question that they have asked me over and over again. One of my really good friends, Cody Beasley, we were messing with my transmission in stripper glitter, and he was like, Megan, you need a bigger gear reduction. The smaller reduction is not going to pan out. You just upgraded tires. So at that time, I think I had 40s or 44s, which was pretty big back in 2018. It's really sad to say. As right now, I feel like that's a small tire, but he was like, look, you just upgraded tires. You can't be racing or anything or going fast on and driving like you do on the improper gear reduction. You're going to blow the transmission. He was like, I tell you what, I'll pay your entry fee and you race. I think it was Engine Egos back in 2018. And I'll give you the gear reduction. It was a used gear reduction. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So that was our first one. And actually, Randy was in the passenger seat on the very first race that we raced. So it was really cool.
So y'all started the trouble together.
Yes, we did. I was the only girl racer at that time. For a while, I was the only girl racer. And then I think only like 2 or 3 actually pulled the hole completely. This was back when holes were impossible to pull. I think 17 racers altogether. I got like 8. So I was like, that's pretty cool. I got like midway for, I'm happy with it.
Right.
And then the adrenaline rush and everything, I was like, ooh, I want to do another one. And then another one. And then
it spiraled out of control.
Yes. I honestly was going to do, a lot of people don't know this, to add a turbo transmission to stripper glitter. Redo part of the motor and put an RS1 diff. And honestly, added parts. I was just collecting parts at this time. And this was, I guess, spring of 21. So the pros were just starting to come out. And at first I was like, oh, they are god awful ugly. The cages on them are ugly. Everything's ugly. Everybody was used to the old body styles of the Razor, and everybody loved those. And finally, somebody, I don't remember who, but somebody had built a Razor, and it was gorgeous. I fell in love. And this was maybe in Mayish. So I called up Brent at PATV. I was like, hey, I need to come talk to you about a pro. And he was like, I think we got one for you. So found one there, came and put my deposit down and start buying parts. I literally had doors and seats and snorkel kit before I even had the machine at the house. So
nice.
But from there, it just kind of blew up. Last year, we had the 52s on it. So the year 22, I think. Yeah, so 21, I drove it around stock, dropped it off at PATV sometime in October. 22 at OPE, it was revealed. It wasn't painted just yet, but the lift and tires were on it, and that's when I had 52s. So I raced the entire year. You know, it was painted by the first race, but the entire year on 52s. And I just honestly realized that 52s were going to be a thing of the past, and it was holding me down. They're a little bit too small. How big the Bounty Hole racing machine has got. It's been,
I know you insane. Yeah, you and I had talked at I think it was River Run. We were talking, and I was asking you, how you think you're running, and you're like, I can't wait for my new tires. Because you felt that was the big thing that was holding you back. You said you had a few things up your sleeve that hadn't been done to the bike yet, but you said tires were on its way. So
yes,
I know you were talking about that a while ago. So
that was towards the end of 22 last year. So for Christmas, we put the JTXs with the 30s on, which I totally am in love with my wheels, and then the 63s. So I love these. They're a perfect setup. They've been wonderful to me this past year. The beginning of this season, I had a little kinks to work out. In March, I realized that I needed to go to the duels if I want to stay competitive, and we needed to start a little bit of the motor work, bigger turbo, stuff like that. So I had already kind of planned on some stuff before Mud Nats. And I had already started buying parts. Of course, I buy parts before I even am able to do so. Can't afford everything at one time. It's hard.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So at Mudnats, we have already decided for motor work and portals and changing the portal plates. And Mudnats was rough on my machine. I had grenaded the transmission in half. They were pulling me back with the excavator, bulldozer, whatever they were pulling me back with, and like gears were falling out of the transmission. Gears, oil everywhere. I like left a snail trail
Oh,
from
wow.
where they're pulling me back to the lefty. It was bad. So that was an unexpected cost. So we went ahead. I bit the bullet. I went with TCP billet transmission. It's been golden. I mean, ever since then, I have not let off. I gave it all the wood possible, pedal to the metal, full sends every time. So it's holding up for sure.
Yeah, I know Battle of the Build finals this year. We were up there. A matter of fact, the picture that's behind Aaron there is from that. I do believe you ended up with Big Air that night.
Yes, I did.
And
I want to know when you went to flight school.
Yeah.
That day.
Like you have wings on that machine.
Well, I remember it was you still had the computer hooked up about 5 minutes before your run.
Oh yeah, I had my tuner. He flew down from Michigan. We tuned it the night before. We put on a bass tune before, but we were tuning and perfecting the night before, and everybody kind of freaked out. We like literally pulled up to the beach that night at like 11:30, and we were still messing with it. My axle boots were so hot. We're trying to let it cool down. My motor was hot. Everything from just tuning and testing and trying to get it perfect for the race the next morning. And they're like, "You're trail riding that thing tonight?" I was like, No. We're just tuning and everything. So he flew down.
It's on the trail.
Yeah, we had made some tunes and perfections like 10 minutes before the driver's meeting. I think I was like one of the last machines to pull into the pit. Talk about like cutting it close for sure. But she did well for that race. One of the axles didn't stay in, and when it popped out, some of the ball bearings went flying. So I definitely couldn't make a second pass.
Right. Yeah. I've got video of your run, and man, when you took off, I was like, geez, I know she said she had something coming up, but wow, I didn't realize you put that much into it.
So that was the one at Sabine, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So
yeah, that's when we took Bougie up there, and
that had to be my favorite racing event. It was just like a madhouse. Like
it was insane.
The place was just nuts. And the side-by-side racing, or next to next, what do you want to call it? Lane to lane.
Head to head.
Crazy. Everybody was going nuts. I was having a blast.
Well,
yeah, that was great. It was like at night too, so it was something different.
Yeah, we got invited up. We had Robert Klemachek. He's a local for us. He invited us up, and I called Bruce and I was like, "Look, I'm not taking my buggy. Do you still want to go?" And he was like, "We'll just take mine. I'm 3 hours away. We'll just drive up for the day, hit the event, and then we'll drive home that night." And we did. We didn't go on a single trail or nothing, but we were there, and I got an interview with you and Mike that night. So we were there for the podcast and trying to talk to a few people.
Ended up sleeping in a rest area parking lot.
Yeah, we slept in a rest area on the way home because we were exhausted. But it was a blast.
I've totally done that before, many times lately.
I've probably had more fun at that one event not riding than I've had in a long time.
It was pretty epic. The racing was hands down the best.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Bobby losing that 73-inch tire. I told him, I said, I think those tires are cursed.
Yeah,
Mike put him through hell too.
Mike couldn't keep them on, and neither can Bobby. So
that was actually the first time I was able to put the new motor to the test. So we, from Mudnats, so the end of March to, I think this was July 15th, we literally have done everything to the motor. We would talk with California people and Brian Crower and what should we do here? What should we do here? A lot of racers don't even like get into motors yet at this point for like bounty racing. I mean, a lot of this in the past year is all, I guess, something new, a new step we're all, I guess, facing and everything like that. The sky's the limit.
Yeah, and
I
that's
don't know what's going to do in a couple years.
yeah, with the progression of this bounty pole racing, you know, it's went from just a mud hole out in a field somewhere to
Out in the woods.
heads up racing to these huge jumps now, and you guys are flying 3,500-pound machines.
Yes.
And now you guys are getting into a horsepower war next. It's what's left for this racing series.
I mean, I don't know. I do know I have something up my sleeve for next year, but that's something we got to find out for next year.
Well, I tell you what,
Yeah,
I can't wait.
Like
I
that.
know every time I see you at the park, I'm like, all right, we're gonna see a bit of a show.
I try. Honestly, that is the best feeling in the world, to get behind the driver's seat and the adrenaline rush. A lot of people always ask me, do I get nervous? I don't get nervous until like right before I race. I could talk to somebody, that's fine. I really don't. Oh, here's another question a lot of people ask. I'm not myself right before the race as well. It's because I am concentrated on the race, thinking about what I should do. I don't like a lot of chit chat. I like to talk to the other drivers a little bit, but about the race or about the course, but not like the bullshit and talk.
Yeah.
I really like to concentrate on what I'm about to do, about to get in the driver's seat, make sure my machine is perfect and running top notch. So again, I apologize to anybody if I've ever seemed out of sorts or a little bitchy at that time. Don't take it personal. It's just a lot of the racers probably feel the same way.
Hey, we're
That's
racing.
yeah,
We're
that's the
racing.
racer mentality. I grew up around racing. Where I grew up, right next door, they did a lot of flat track racing, and that's how those guys were. That was game time.
Yeah.
You know, anybody who's played sports, I know I grew up playing sports. Aaron, you grew up playing sports.
Yeah.
It's a mentality. You have to turn it on and you have to get ready for it.
Well,
Yeah.
you guys got to see me firsthand at
I'm good.
STX. So I
Oh,
basically shut down that whole morning and was trying to get head right for the medium tire hole.
You were trying. You were trying.
I was trying. Machine. Hey, I did what I needed to do. I beat Sheldon and I drove it back up onto the trailer.
Yes.
So
You didn't wuss out.
That's a big thing.
You were my hero. Aaron, you were my hero that weekend. You didn't wuss out and you still did it. Nervous as hell and you still did it.
yeah, especially after watching Alan tear that hole up in High Horse. So
Proud of you, brother. That was
So,
awesome.
So, going from that, I know you just said that you absolutely love it and there's no other feeling. Is there any tips or tricks to the game? Like what would you say would help, or what helps you get into that mood, get into that point to, all right, I'm ready to fly?
Okay, so I like a little music.
Is it the I Can't Believe or the I Can Fly by what is it?
No, not that. I like my ghetto pumped up music. Yeah, it's ghetto.
What you got? What's on the playlist?
We're like, hell yeah, like it's in my head going on. So the show, they could not play any music. So we were trying to figure out how to actually get me some music in here. With also, they were filming what I had to say in the other ear. So I'm like, okay, how on earth do I do both? Because I need some pumped up music for me to get my body pumped up, my blood flowing and everything. That was a little harder because like at South Texas Showdown, they always play a really good song or get me pumped up. I'm in the driver's seat. I'm holding on to the steering wheel, ready to go. It gets me in the zone. It gets me my tunnel vision. I don't see anything. I don't see the crowd. It's perfect. But, in the show, I didn't have all that. So I had to get myself pumped up, taught myself up kind of thing. It was different.
So I know we can't say a whole lot about the show, but what's it like going from just a racer to now dealing with producers and film crews?
And you're gonna be
So you were, say it again.
And you're gonna be famous.
So you were Mike the entire time. That's a little strange because I'm like, okay, I can't really talk shit. I was talking shit to Derek, and I'm like, oh, I'm Mike. Hopefully they didn't hear that. That was a pretty funny. He's like, babe, you're mic'd up. I was like, oops. I was actually, yeah, I have no filter. I was talking shit to him. So they said that was fine. They're like, we didn't put that on. I was like, good. So that it's really neat. It's not really scripted, so that's a really cool thing. We race. They come and film as soon as you're like even muddy as hell in the bike. You just turn it off. They come and film all that raw emotion. So that's really neat. Pretty cool. They ask you a lot of questions, and I guess I've never been asked or thought about all these different questions that they ask.
Right.
They're trying to just bring what I feel out, which is great. But like I said, it's not scripted, so it's something I have to like dig deep in, think about what I want to say, and then tell you. And they want it just blurted out and like it's free flowing and natural. So it's hard. The only thing that's made me a little bit nervous, and I normally don't get nervous, is when there's like 3 cameras. There's one over here, there's one like long view, and there's one looking straight at me. And I'm like, don't look at the camera. Don't look at the camera.
What do I do with my hands? What do I do with my hands?
Yeah, that's a lot. Some of the other cast members were like, oh my God.
I know y'all were up at Rednecks with Paychecks, and I know you were filming up there. I happened to go down there and was talking to Randy and was talking to Bryce. And next thing I know, they're shoving a camera in my face just while I'm sitting there talking to Randy. And I'm like, okay, don't look at the camera. Don't look at the camera. Don't look at the camera.
They want everything natural.
Yeah. I realized that once I got down there because the producer pulled me to the side and he's like, hey, can you sign the waiver? Stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, absolutely not a problem. And he's like, yeah, just, if you're holding the conversation, just keep talking, act like we're not there. I was like, well, yeah. I can do that.
A lot of people think it's a lot of scripted stuff, but I mean, they came to the house and they're like, whatever you need to do this day, we're just going to film it. I said, okay, well, I need to go to PATV and go get oil and belts. So are you going to come? And they're like, yeah, we're going to come. We're going to ride with you. I'm like, okay. And then, changing oil and belts because, it depends on the hole, whether we change about every ride or every 2 rides, and oil and draining stuff. So that's all we really do in between when we have races back to back. So, I mean, they sat and filmed it, whether it's going to be on the show or not, or if it's even that interesting, but they filmed it.
Did you have to censor yourself a little bit? You said you just kind of don't have a filter, but.
A little bit. But as the show progressed, they were like, it's okay. Because I was like, oh, fuck. And they were like, it's fine. I'm like, okay.
So then all that came out after that.
Yeah, apparently they'll beep it out, or I just don't remember hearing Discovery Channel curse a lot. I mean, when we're working with the kids, I make sure to bleep everything out. I have to think before I talk. But when we're hanging out with the guys, like say in the shop or, on a trail or whatever, I'm one of the guys. I have no filter. It just flows.
Well, yeah, because we say some pretty awkward stuff on the trails. It gets a little.
You're awkward, bud.
Well,
all 3 of us are awkward.
This
is
very good filters.
Yeah, this is a good segue. We know you like to trail ride too, Megan, and Diamond Dust has kind of gotten to a point to where it's just a race machine. You have a new build coming.
Yes. So we've been building our Defender. Let me go back a little bit. So when we were building the motor, I was talking to the motor components guy who actually builds like the billet cranks and all that. And that's what, Diamond Dust has a billet crank. He was like, look, I want to step you up a little bit. What you think about this? And I'm like, yeah, let's go for it. He was like, you realize you cannot trail ride on this motor anymore. I was like, yeah, I get it. It's super wide anyways. I mean, she's like over 100 inches wide, so it's really hard to turn on the trails. So I totally got it. So we would always have Dirty Diana, which is great. But with racing so much and the summer heat in Louisiana, Derek was like, I'm done with not having an AC. So we went to a Defender HVAC limited, and it's amazing.
Yes, it is.
We rode it around stock for a while, and we're like, okay, we've gotten stuck like 6 times. We need to build it. So we went with the Apex high lifter suspension all around, and the high lifter 8-inch boxes. Of course, JTX. I'm a JTX girl. I love those. So, and then the high lifter tires. We have some other little things. I need to add like a TCP rack, and we just actually finished adding the audio. So we put eight M2s in the roof with also sea decking and the starlight. So I have to be fancy, of course, a little bougie. And
There's
it all
nothing wrong
has
with
the
that.
lighting. The speakers has the lighting. The starlight has the lighting, and then we put 4 M2 10 subwoofers in there as well. So it bangs. Like if you come and sit in it, your face is like vibrating. And then I always want to add more. I'm pretty sure my bill from Rockford's going to go up and up and up. But those Rockford speakers are tremendous. They're pretty awesome. And then let's see what else we've added. We've added some little door straps for Monster Rigging because the stock ones have already broke. And then tomorrow, I'm actually headed to go pick up the clear belt box covers that Big Boy Customs makes, and they make some nameplates. So I just posted the name of the Defender. It's called Night Train. So, of course, we got to add some train horns.
Oh, there you go.
And then, a wrap or something cool. But it's mostly almost done. I mean, for the most part, wheels, tires, suspension, audio. We've added springs. We're going to add a rack. We've got tie rods, link bars. We need to add lights, belt box covers. I mean, I can't really think of anything else for just a trail buggy.
Yeah, but that's just it. Even the trail buggies versus with the race buggies now, you're never done with it. You can say you're done with it, Bruce, and you're never done with it.
Never done with it. Mine's fixing to go back in for something else now. And just so you know, Alex, just it's okay to be bougie. How much did you make fun of me when we went and bought the North Star?
No comment.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, it's like, oh, let's take that. It's got air conditioner. Oh, now you like it all of a sudden.
It was
Exactly.
miserable.
You want to come sit in it.
Yes. We were riding around in heat, taking off clothes. They were all cold, and we had air conditioner, and they want to complain. So now it's okay to be bougie.
So during the summer, Derek was like leading the pack or whatever, and he stopped to put on a shirt because we were at the beach or whatever. And so a couple of our buddies like came up and like, what's going on? And, something happened with the new buggy. He's like, no, I got cold. And they're like, oh, fuck y'all.
I got cold. Oh, wow.
And this is like July or August. It's hot outside.
And that's all nice when there's no dust. No dust inside. You're just driving around. We went to Creekside. We're all dusted out. And Elisa's in the back in the North Star, no dust, air conditioned, just chilling, and we're all sweating full of dust.
Well, Alex's daughter was passed out taking a nap while we were trail riding.
Napping in the buggy. It was awesome.
Yeah. I was kind of mad about not mad, but like I was telling Derek, we don't need this. We don't need it. We can't even pull our machines on one trailer as it is. We don't need this. He's like, yes, we do. Yes, we do. He was like, if you want me to continue to follow you to races and race all the time, and it's summertime, Louisiana, we need one. I was like, okay. He's like, let's just go look at one. That's all it took. The rest is go look at
That's how it always starts. Let's just go look at it.
That's what I do. That's what I do. I drag my wife to the vendors, and I'm like, hey, we're just gonna go look. We're just gonna go look.
That's not how I do it. I do it a totally different way.
Yeah,
Well,
you break shit, you just go buy a new machine.
Yes. So
did you hear about his story at Mudnats this last year?
No.
Megan? So he has a KRX like I do. And we were there the first day and he broke a portal. 30 minutes into the trail and he breaks a portal. So we go to Super ATV. We went to High Lifter looking for a portal box. I even called Bobby and was like, hey, do you still have those old portals? No luck on portals whatsoever. He calls PATV and went and bought that North Star the following day.
He took it out there and rode it the rest of the weekend.
That's boy math, right?
His exact words is, I'm here and I'm not gonna not have a good time.
Okay, I paid this much to get in the park for Mud National, so we need to pay, 40 times that, or 400 times that.
But you know what?
To ride all weekend.
The sad part of the story, that's not the first time that's happened. It's the third time.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a reason he's called Bougie Bruce.
Yes. So
the enclosed is definitely where it's at. I love our Defender, and I can't wait to make more of it. Everybody was like, "You're not painting it pink." I was like, "I still have diamond dust. I don't need to paint it pink." We kind of left it plain for now, but until we put a wrap on it, being that I released Night Train this week, we actually did. You'll know whenever we put a wrap why, for the name.
Right.
But it's definitely the way to go for the South for sure. You gotta have one, or at least have a friend that has one.
Yeah, that's it. I'll just have a friend that has one. If I need to cool off, I'll sit in it.
Oh, what? No, I'm locking the doors.
Yeah, you ain't even gonna be riding in it.
I'm not. I'm gonna ride my KRX. I have a question.
Wait. You have doors that lock?
Yeah, ours locked.
The Defenders do not.
Yeah, you just don't lock them.
No, there's no lock.
Yeah, if you don't like somebody, just lock the doors. And that's it.
Yeah, you can lock them from the outside. You just can't lock them. You have to roll down your window, lock it, and then roll it back up.
Yes, same thing. You can't lock it from the inside. It doesn't have.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Okay, yeah.
He's got power windows. He's happy.
We have power windows in the front, but not in the back.
Not the back. You got poor people windows in the back.
Yeah,
we have those. So I have a question. You got to settle on an argument.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah. So you're known for your show and shine. You do it all the time.
Yeah.
So we have one coming up. My girlfriend's out there like cleaning our buggy. How far do you go cleaning and detailing your buggy for a show and shine?
I've gone where I've taken a toothbrush and I have toothbrush polish on the rack because I can't get to it. Trying to make the billet rack shine. How far is too far?
I don't know. She was out there with a toothbrush, screwdriver, and a little towel and a vacuum cleaner and
any dirt possible. Honestly, I can never get as clean as a lot of the other people. So I spent 3 hours cleaning mine in January this year for OPE. I bring it up to OPE. I drop it off. They have a guy named Trey that washes machines before they go into the show. So I was like, hey, I just need mine cleaned up a little bit, detailed. It's already been washed. It's good. He calls me over after he's done and shows me all the mud. And I think there was this thick of mud and nastiness that fell through on the bike that was just on the ground. There was Fireball bottle, there was beads. I'm like, where did this thing come from?
I'm only laughing.
I'm
only laughing about the Fireball bottle is I had just got done doing the new power steering on my Honda, and we were working on the trailer, getting it ready for this coming up weekend. We have Ridesgiving this coming up weekend, or not this weekend, next weekend after Thanksgiving. And my wife goes, "We did a poor job cleaning the buggy." I said, "Why is that?" And she pulled a Ultra can out of it. And I was like, "We haven't rode in 2 months."
I found a Bush can in mine, and I don't even drink Bush. Where'd it
Well,
come?
I just don't understand this because, like, I have not really trail rode it in. Okay, so this was the beginning of this year for OP. Before that, I didn't trail ride it for like maybe a few months to 8 months prior. Like actually trail riding it. I might have trail ridden it for like during the day, but like I don't remember where that fireball bottle even came from, unless it was in there or like stuck behind the seats or underneath the pan. Since like I got it, because I do remember when it was stock, we drank Fireball.
Wow. Take you down memory lane on that one, huh?
Those always seem to pop up everywhere.
Where
Yeah, I
did
was
it
like, I
come
don't know where this
from?
came from.
So, I'm glad y'all got another buggy to go trail riding and stuff like that. So, speak of trail riding, you've been in this world for a long time now.
Yes.
Events, non-events, stuff like that. What are your do's and don'ts at the park? Like, what do you like to see people doing, and then what do you don't like to see people doing? Because you
Trail.
see both sides. You see the event side, and then you've seen and you know the regular side of an off weekend going.
So are you talking about like on the trails, like versus trail riding?
Yeah, on the trails.
Okay, so like on the trails, it really sucks when people just block both lanes. That's like a major pet peeve. And we'll be nice. We'll just sit there for a little bit. Sometimes people know, sometimes people don't. We've had some assholes become, hey, can you move your shit? And they're like, huh, yeah. And they don't move it for like a while until we ask again. And that sucks. Another thing is, these idiots that fly and fishtail around or do donuts or act an ass. We have kids there. Mama Bear comes out. I start hollering, hey, slow down.
Oh, absolutely.
That drives me insane, especially during the summertime down here because it gets so dusty.
The dust, you can't see.
The guy popping the throttle in front of you, just to spin the tires and kick up dust drives me insane.
Yeah. I mean, my kid, Leo might be one of them. We're always like, you're riding in the back because like he has cut assassinators and his assassinators pick up so much dust. So we definitely kick him in the back until like he'll just be curving around. I was like, you don't understand. You're picking up dust for everybody. Stop doing that. Just drive normal. And he can't.
What's the
Attention span. That's a squirrel moment.
Yeah, like I love lights. I love lights. I like underglow. I really don't like light whips for me, but they're cool to look at. The flashing lights that want to give people a seizure. I'm like, oh, you gotta turn those off when you're coming like on a trail dead on. I can't even see nothing. I'm trust driving. I'm like closing my eyes and trust driving. But yeah, those are my pet peeves. Not many. Like top 3.
I know for me, you're passing, especially like at Sabine on the fire roads, and you got two-way traffic going. It's especially at night because I get migraines. It's the guys that don't turn their light bars off onto an oncoming vehicle.
Yeah,
that drives me insane. Like, have a little bit of respect. I at least kick my high beams down to low beams, and I know most of the people out there are 3 sheets to the wind, and we probably shouldn't be driving around at 2 3 o'clock in the morning drunk the way we do, but we do.
Yeah. I may or may not have driven my machine back to camp with like one eye closed one time. Yeah, it's happened before.
There's no proof.
Alex has stopped me a couple of times and been like, hey, park your buggy, you're riding.
Oh yeah, I got no problem doing that.
Cody Beasley see me at the High Line at River Run. He was like, dude, you're hammered, because we were like hanging out for a couple hours at the High Line. Everybody went and drove or whatever. It might have been like 1, 2 o'clock. By the time we went back to camp, it was almost 3 a.m. So we were hanging out, getting drunk at the High Line, done trail riding. He was like, dude, you can't even climb in your buggy. He was like, let me pick you up. I'm going to put you in there and I'll drive you back to camp, which is not very far from the High Line to camp.
Right.
But yeah, he definitely has driven me back to camp.
I've been driven back to camp a couple of times.
And then
It's
pounced
really
back 30
embarrassing.
minutes later.
There,
Pounced
there
back.
is there is video proof of you.
Yes.
Yes.
I've
Yeah.
had Randy like feeding me pizza on the picnic table, like feeding me pizza around because she's like, "You need to eat," and they have proof of that. That's somewhere they have proof of picture proof.
You know what? Those pictures always get you in trouble one way or another.
Yeah,
Those damn phones. I know there's probably a couple of me out there floating around. I don't want to know.
Well, see,
So-
there's a bunch of stupid stuff from me back in like the 90s. There is no proof because we didn't have the cell phones.
I'm so glad there's no proof of my stupidity yet. Give it time.
Yet.
Give it
Oh,
time.
no, never mind. I got some pictures of somebody.
Uh-oh.
Hey, so if you're coming to OPE, I'm pretty sure everybody will be stupid there.
So, well, that was the one of the things that I was going to bring up is, you are going to OPE this year?
Absolutely. So Diamond Us will be in a booth. We'll have Tisha Young swag, apparel, and Diamond Us apparel as well.
So I've talked to Shane, actually planning on doing a podcast at OPE this year. All three of us are we're planning on being there. Of course, with Bruce, it just depends on how his schedule works out for him.
Did y'all book the hotel?
No, not yet.
You can do that.
Yeah.
I thought you booked it, Alex.
No, I haven't booked it yet.
All right, Aaron, did he not say he booked it?
No, I said I was going to deal with it.
I think that's what he had told me he was going to. So, see, I did my deal for the trip in June. The Airbnb is taken care of now.
I am
So-
not bringing the trailer to OPE.
No, we're not taking the trailer to OPE, but the plan is we will be at OPE. We're actually going as the podcast. I talked to Shane. Like I said, we're going to do a podcast there. Randy and I've been talking to Randy about possibly doing something there with her and Mike. So we'll see how that turns out. I'm excited. This is our first year there. I actually didn't even know about it until last year when Mike and Randy had their he proposed, right? That's yeah, he proposed there, and I saw the pictures, of course, on Facebook and stuff like that. So I was like, well, what is this? Yeah. And I was like, well, what is this? And then talking to Anthony Sanders and Kelly, they were like, that is a great event. You guys definitely need to go. So
they have gone every single time. They come and hang out, they party with us. So we stay at Hotel Hot Springs, which is in walking distance. That Embassy Suites is in walking distance from 6 bars, like pick a bar. Eating places, whatever. So afterwards,
Shane told me to try to get at Hotel Hot Springs.
Yeah, the Hotel Hot Springs is a little closer, so you don't have to pass Hotel Hot Springs first. And that's where we're staying. Me and Randy have our hotel booked already.
Gotta get on it.
Last year we had, after the proposal, we did have a ton of. I think the entire bar was off-roading. And when you bring that many people for off-roading into a bar drunk, it gets a little loud.
Oh,
It gets a little crazy. So I think
I bet it was a blast.
Mike was like, I want 50 shots for for everybody. And it still wasn't enough for people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for OPE. I didn't know anything about it until the guys from Silverback Garage we were talking about it a few weeks ago. And then SEMA has been on my bucket list forever, and this seems to be the off-road SEMA. So I'm super excited about it.
It's new or newer. This is our 3rd year of doing it. I was there for the 1st year and the 2nd year. This is the 3rd year, so it's great. I totally love the kids that come up and want to climb on the buggy, like we said previous.
Yeah.
Take pictures and everything, get autographs. That's badass. We'll have apparel, and it's tons of vendors to walk around. You get anything from like mixed drinks they sell. Thumper Fab had margaritas last year. I mean, like they had a ton of different things. They have food there. And of course, like people come like all 3 days sometimes. It's insane. They just come and hang out. Last year we had some couches and some just chairs and a table under our tent, and it was just like the chill spot. But it's the after effects. We went bar hopping. We went. We won't say what else we did, but we had a good time.
You can't just leave it like that. Now,
Well, we get to find out this year.
Yes.
So,
just come hang
Yeah,
out.
Anthony told me, he's like, dude, if you're going, holler at me. We're hanging out. And I was like, all right, bring it on.
Make sure you get there on Thursday, though.
Well, so all of us have to work, and we lost Bruce. All of us have to work, so we're not leaving until Thursday night. So we're actually driving. We're getting off work and leaving Thursday afternoon and headed that direction. It's a 9.5-hour drive for us.
Oh, yeah.
So
take a half a day off on Thursday, then leave, and then come out
Hey.
with us Thursday.
Alex, just so you know, I'm off that Thursday, so I'm good to go.
I can be off that Thursday.
So
Well,
if
that
we have
means
to
I
make
gotta
arrangements,
change.
then we'll make it.
I
So
gotta change
Thursday
hotel
is
dates.
usually when we set up. This last year, we did get a little crazy on Thursday. We had a good time. It was kind of the crazy before everybody got there.
Right.
So we let loose a little bit more.
Well,
That's all I'll
that's
say.
what Shane told me. That he was like, man, it's gonna get crazy. He goes, I've got your passes, your media, you're good. Just let me know how many people are coming with you. And I was like, all right, cool, not a problem. And he's like, soon as you get up here, though, holler at me. And I was like, okay. He's like, you're gonna have a blast.
For sure.
let's do it.
Well, as we're speaking, I'm checking room rates.
So did I. Got it up here. Maybe that's why my computer crashed, because it didn't want me to book the hotel.
Lost Bruce again.
God damn it.
Oh no, I can see you.
Right. Right, then I'm not messing with my computer. Good luck looking them up. All right, get on the other one.
I already got him.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, I'm super excited about OPE. And then Mudnats. Anything special, Megan, for Mudnats?
I mean, next season we have some more things done to the machine, but Mudnuts, I really hope to redeem myself for the race that I raced this past year. Like I said, I blew the trends completely. So I need at least a podium on that one. Nothing special planned as of yet. I'll be there. We'll be there on Tuesday. We stay there almost 4 or 5 days.
Yep.
My machine is usually in one of the booths, or trying to see if we can get my own booth. We'll see how that goes. See how much money it is for it. But I'm super excited about my nuts. I will be there for sure.
So, out of all the parks that you've been to, whether it was racing or just trail riding, you have a favorite park that you like to go trail ride at?
I love Sabine ATV Park. River Run's another top. Wild Country in Mississippi is another contender. They have a steak restaurant at Wild Country, and that steak restaurant totally hits that mark a little bit. You literally can bring in your own beer and come for $25. It comes with a baked potato, a salad, and a steak, and you bring your own beer in. So that makes that park like top notch. They also serve like crawfish and crab legs. I mean, come on, wouldn't you want to put that parkway up there?
Right. I don't think I've ever heard of that park, and I'm always on the lookout for a new place to go ride. So I made the comment earlier about the Airbnb getting set up for June. We're going to Washington to go wheel up around Mount Rainier next.
I heard about that. That's pretty cool. Guys, sure.
Yeah, well, no, we're all taking mine and Alex. We're taking our wives, and then Bruce is taking his wifey with him.
That's great because if somebody says guys trip around me, I'm like, I'm going. Sorry, my hair up and become a dude, but I'm going.
We've only had one guy's trip. Other than that, it's always been like with our families, kids.
Absolutely, and I can't. the guys' trip to Louisiana Mudfest a few years ago, that was a total shit show.
Was that in September with Ballard Builds?
Yeah.
No,
that was the
just
one in April.
Yeah.
We don't bring up that.
Yeah, we do. We bring it up a lot.
Like don't get me wrong, there were some things I liked about watching the bounty hole stuff. It was just chaos, so much chaos going on.
It's
Like
not
it was
worse
just
than Rednecks.
No,
I've never been to Rednecks. So
So-
Bruce and Alex have both done Rednecks.
You should
Redneck
go.
is like
The difference
chaos
that I
everywhere.
see, the difference that I see at Rednecks is the difference that I see at Rednecks versus the Louisiana Mudfest, and like once again, this is from personal experience, is Rednecks is controlled chaos
There you go, controlled chaos.
because it's kind of spread out. It's
Yeah,
spread out.
I can
It's
see
spread
that.
out enough that you could get away if you needed to get away.
Like you have chaos on Vinner Row of everything. If you want to
Yes.
be, if you want to see titties, if you want to see everything, that's Vinner Row. But if you want to get away and just do your own thing or whatever, you can get away from that.
Oh yeah.
If you
At-
just want
at
to go play in the
yeah.
mud, you can go find a pit. That's fine.
At Louisiana Mudfest that year, specifically that year, because I haven't been since, so I don't know how it's been since then, but specifically that year, it seemed like it was everybody on top of everybody. There was nowhere to go. And
Yeah.
then we had storms roll in also, and the
It
roads
made it
turned it.
miserable.
Oh, the roads turned to impassable. And then you had kids out there with 2-wheel drives just trying to pull trailers through
Oh my
nothing.
gosh, yeah.
And it
You had
was
four-wheelers covered in mud, still on the trailer. I haven't even been off the trailer covered in mud.
like it was
chaos.
just it turned into a giant just shit show. And
Well,
it was not
that be-
it was not enjoyable.
I can see that.
No, it was not an enjoyable trip, and it put a sour taste in my mouth. I'm not gonna lie. And we have close friends that they go do Louisiana Mudfest every year, and they think
Colfax is
it's
a
the
lot
greatest thing.
smaller than Rednecks area.
Yeah.
So I could totally see how that. I mean, I've been to Colfax several times.
Yeah,
I can see how that happened.
Now
But-
Rednecks, we've been twice, and
I love Redneck. I love it.
It's a show. We sat 8 hours watching races, just watching the races. We found a good spot. Love that place. Love it.
Have you ever been to Boggs?
No.
Boggs and Bowls.
Nope.
That's a park
Heard
to go to.
Okay.
Go during the summer or the spring or even the fall, whenever it's warm.
Mhm.
They have like rope swings and pools. They have cabins. They have little beaches. So it used to be a limestone
Corey.
quarry. They
Yeah,
cultivate limestone or whatever, and that's where it started, like a small little trail around the limestone. And now they stopped cultivating limestone. And they have caves to go into. They have like massive mounds, like mountains, but like mounds, I guess. So you can like drive your side by side on top, hanging out the top, party a
Yeah.
little bit, drive it down. I hate when Derek drives like big buggies, 'cause I'm so afraid it's going to tip over because it's going straight up. Y'all, all you're looking at is like the sky.
and that's how it was when we went. So me and my wife a few years ago, we went to Windrock in Tennessee, and just going and trail riding, it's a beautiful place because there you get up on some of these bluffs and you're overlooking the town of Caryville. There's an old abandoned prison and there's old abandoned trains and stuff. And it's just beautiful country because you're down in a holler, then you're back up on a ridge and then down into another holler. But it's 72,000 acres of private trails,
God.
but that being said, it's 18, 19-hour drive, so that's kind of one of those deals where it's like, all right, I might do that trip once or 2 years.
I want to go.
But Sabine is probably my favorite park, at least that I've been to here in the Texas area. What is that? Muddy Bottoms. I would like to go see Muddy Bottoms.
Have you been to Muddy Bottoms, Megan?
Yes. They have a bar at Muddy
Yes.
Bottoms, which is really cool. The 19th hole.
Yep.
So that's, I mean, literally, what park haven't we been to? We've been to so many, especially the past like few years. This year we went to Minnesota racing.
Yeah.
That was
How was
I hate
that?
to say horrible. I hate to say the trip was horrible, but the drive and the drive home was even worse. That was 26 hours. And you know how we had some issues with the axle falling out in Battle of the Builds finals? Well, I thought I fixed it with limit straps. Come to find out, that axle was just a little too short. So we had 3 chances to race. That's it. We had 2 chances on Friday, like two passes on Friday and 1 pass on Saturday. And the top 2 times got added together for your total time. Who had the best time won.
Yeah.
Every single time I would race, whether I would jump it, I even tried not jumping it one time, it still fell out. I was so pissed. We drove 26 hours to go there and thousands of dollars in fuel and just trying to get my machine working. I blew a turbo. Like, that trip cost me a ton of money, but I loved it. These people from Minnesota have never seen action like this at all. Big machines. So that was pretty neat.
Yeah, and that's something that I like about this community that we're in, of course, is the South Texas Showdown that we had down here. There was so many people who've never seen anything like that. Like, we've
And I
all
don't
seen it.
understand
You're in it. Like, we're all in it to a point, and we've seen it and been around it for a couple of years. But there's so many people who had no idea that you could take a razor and make it that big.
Yeah. Like, we
Make it
even
jump.
stuck at gas stations and they're like, what is this? And I'm like, it's a Pro XP. They're like, no, it's big. What is it? I was like, what starts this big? And then it just grows. You take everything off that stock and you put everything bigger.
Oh yeah. Justin over at Silverback, they've got a picture of Bobby's KRX, his Grinch, next to his wife's KRX, Justin's wife's KRX, which is still stock. And it's the
Looks
same
like 2 different
machine,
machines.
but it looks so different.
Yes.
And I see that, and when people ask, they're like, well, how big do you here, just look at this picture. This will
Exactly.
give you an idea.
Well, and the horrible part about it is, like, the pictures really don't do it justice, and like you were saying, Megan, earlier, you're on 63s now, and you were complaining last year about being on 52s, not being enough tire.
Yeah.
40s and 42s have become the norm, where 3 or 4 years ago, a 35 was a big tire on a trail buggy. And, I think now with these new machines, that 37 to 42, 44-inch tire, that seems to be what these machines are set up can do without breaking a lot of stuff.
You're absolutely right. And even, like, as we said earlier, pictures don't do it justice until you get a person standing by them for a picture.
Right.
And they're like, holy shit, the tire's as big as you. Yeah. But I mean, we put 40s on a trail ride and buggy, and it should be perfectly fine. But a lot of people are like, "Oh, okay, 40s, we're doing this now." I was like, "Yeah, that's a small tire now."
I'm running 37s. I run 37s on my Honda, and it is comfortable down the trails, no problem.
Yes, we wanted. So we did put 8-inch boxes on 40s, which is, I would say, a little overkill. But we're able to have, so we have stock link suspension, arch arms, arch apex, high lifter arms, rear, front and rear. Our axles are straight. They're straight. We've been on stock axles for a while. We're actually now switching them to Demon axles just so they don't break on a trail, and we'll keep the stocks in the spare in the motorhome or something. But I want a comfort ride, so it still has the same axle angle as stock. Yes, we have portals. Yes, we have 40s, but I still want a soft ride, and I still want the axle angles to be the same. So we're not like busting boots, breaking axles, the cups, or whatever. So,
well, yeah, and that's me. Like, that's me. I'm on 40s my arms are flat and I'm on 6-inch boxes, and it's like riding in a Cadillac.
Exactly. Perfect ride.
Yeah. And I'm like, why didn't I do this to begin with? And I did the slow step up, 33s, went to 35s, went to boxes, went to 40s, went to 42s, went back to 40s. And the only thing I think I would change now is the gear reduction, just because the KRX is so low geared. I should have went with a 30% gear reduction versus a 45.
Yeah.
And that's
And with the 8-inch boxes, you can't go as low
right.
of gear reduction. So it is geared low, but it's not like we're racing, or the Defender has not a lot of horsepower. So we don't really
it needs all the
It
help.
probably helps it.
Yeah.
But you're not out on the trail trying to climb over a rock or go through a small mud hole, and you're not smoking belts.
No,
So
we're literally still on the stock clutches. Until we actually smoke a belt, we're not changing the clutches. The portals have enough gear reduction where they should be fine with that. We'll change the primary whenever we're starting to smoke the belts. I mean, we've still been on the same belt. It's been fine. It's literally been on a ton of rides since July, probably 12. So it's lasted this long. It's probably perfectly fine.
And that's sad. I had to redo mine completely, like right out the gate. The Polaris North Star is known for throwing this misfire code. As soon as we put it on portals and 35s, it started going into lit mode. So we had to change.
You can tune that out.
It is. It's tuned out now.
I can help you with that.
Yes, it's gone, and now it runs good, and AC don't go out. We're like, why AC quit? Yeah, we learned that the hard way.
So, speak of going on more rides. What do you got next? Like, what's your schedule look like?
So I'm kind of going almost crazy because we've been 2 weeks at home, and I'm like, oh, this is not normal. This year is beyond crazy. Since September 1st, Labor Day, to October 28th for Battle of the Builds race, has been almost every single weekend a race. We did the show, we did 5 weekends of racing with that, and then other racing that we went to. So it's nice to take a little break, but now that we're off for 2 weekends, I'm starting to miss it. It's really sad, but getting some work done. We're actually redoing some of the snorkels on Diamond Dust. This week or beginning of next week, we'll be taking apart some of the stuff to repowder coat. We'll send to James at Turner Cycles to go ahead and, get some stuff recoated. And then got some little clutch work to do, and then adding a little secret stuff in Diamond Dust. So all that will take time. So I'm glad we have an off season because the bike wasn't running what I want it to at the end of October. So the first, I guess, ride, we're going to bring probably the kids for something in December. But the first ride will be River Run New Year's for the Bounty Course. I will not be racing. I don't race the Bounty Course anymore. I like to cheer stuff on and watch the carnage. And then OPE. And then if anybody has anything before Mardi Gras, because I do know, I think Battle of the Build's first race is Mardi Gras. Yep. So if anybody has anything before that, we'll be racing that with Diamond Dust. Otherwise, that Diamond Dust is in the shop, all cozy and warm and clean.
Toothbrush clean.
Yes, not quite, but pretty close.
Well, so of course, we've got a ride coming up on the 9th of December. We're going to be at Sabine, but that's, it's an off weekend, which just a bunch of us going up there. And that's not a podcast thing. That's we're going just to go ride and enjoy ourselves. I plan on taking the kids, stuff like that. So that's what we've got going on. And then New Year's, Bruce, I think you've got you're going to Tower Tracks.
Tower.
And then I'm shooting for River Run. I plan on going to River Run for New Year's. That's my plans. That's still subject to change, of course, because my wife tells me what I'm doing. Of course,
That's what Derek says. I mean, he's like, what do we have going on? Because I keep everything up with a calendar, what events, what we need to go to, what races, whether it be birthday parties, weddings, whatever.
Okay, well
I'm
then
in control of all that. And he's like, I just don't know. I just go where I'm told.
I
And it's
can't
like,
talk. I can't
it's like
talk.
I tell him what to do.
I have to ask Elisa the same thing. Hey, what do we got going on this weekend? She's like, hold on. She has to bust out her little book. I'm like, all right, whatever. So sorry, Alex, for making fun of you, but I'm still gonna make fun of you.
Yeah, oh, I don't care. Make fun of me all you want. As long as you pick on me, you're leaving some other poor bastard alone.
That's true.
Like
That's
Aaron.
true. But I kind of like you.
Eh,
We haven't picked on Aaron in a while.
I know. It's been a bit.
that's because I haven't done anything stupid here lately.
I'll
We
give it a
haven't
minute.
been on any rides. We got
Give
a
it
couple of
December
weeks.
9th, there
Give
will
it
be
time.
photos.
Well, y'all are more than welcome to join us out at Sabine on December 9th if y'all want to go out that weekend, just to get away for a little bit. We'll be out there. We're like I said, we're taking the kids, so I'm gonna have my 2 young ones with us.
It'll be cool. I'm kind of looking forward to that one because it's a getaway ride.
That's
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it also.
Just a ride.
Something we need to show up to.
Come on, more the merrier.
That means our home park, like an hour and 45 minutes or hour 40 minutes from the house. It's not far.
Well, see, yeah, it's like
That's
5.5
nothing.
hours
Going
for
to
us.
the grocery store. 3 hours. Let's go.
Yeah, I know. I need to move from South Texas.
Well, you keep telling me I need to move from.
Well,
Coast
that's because
Texas.
you're in Texas City. You need to move away from Texas City.
This is true, but
Yeah, I love Louisiana. I don't ever want to move from Louisiana. Derek wants to move because he hates the hot. But
you're in the South.
I love the South and I love the food in the South. And yeah, anytime we go anyplace else, I'm like, I miss the food after like 4 or 5 days.
oh yeah, I'm never leaving Texas. I will never leave Texas ever. I don't care how hot it gets. I'm not leaving Texas.
I mean, well, Louisiana is about the same. Texas, Louisiana, I feel like I could live in either state and be perfectly fine.
Eventually, they just need to merge to one. Texas
Yeah,
is pretty much the same, so just merge, just be one.
just say the
United
big
States
South or
and
whatever.
Texas, Louisiana.
That's
There you
it.
go.
That's it.
We don't have Louisiana people.
Well, Megan, we really do appreciate you coming on. So glad we were able to make this happen. Can you go ahead and tell the people watching and the listeners, where they can find you at as far as social media or anything like that?
So I do have my Facebook, and it's Megan Rion, Rion. A lot of people get that wrong. If you can't message me, just comment on my page. I can message you if you have any questions or if you want any parts quoted. Definitely can do that. My Instagram's the same thing, Megan.Rion, Rion. I think TikTok's the same thing, and I do have a YouTube, which I fairly seldom post, but I do post some of my race videos on there. But I appreciate y'all having me on the show tonight, and thank y'all for inviting me.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, thank you for showing up.
Yeah. I know I talked to a bunch of people and was like, yeah, I'm thinking about getting Megan on. We talked a little bit and they're like, yes, absolutely 100%. And I was like, okay, well, that kind of seals the deal. That's one of our guests. So we're really glad you decided to come on with us. I know we're still getting our feet wet as far as this goes. All insight is welcome, of course. So if you have any pointers or anything for us, by all means, let us know. Once again, everybody, you can reach us at I'm on TikTok at Full Send Off-Road Podcast. Instagram is Full Send Off-Road Podcast. And then on our email, it's Full Send Podcast Mail at gmail.com. And then you can also we're on YouTube. So look for this episode here later tonight or first thing in the morning is when it'll be posted.
Don't forget the what's the saying?
Yeah. Please like and subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell.
Click the subscribe button.
That's
right.
it. That's it. Once again, Megan, we really do appreciate it. And we'll see you out at the track and definitely at OPE. We'll be there and we'll make sure to stop by and say hi.
For sure. I'll see y'all in January.
Oh, absolutely. If not sooner.
December.
Later, guys.